morning for a hotel shave. We're going back home this evening. And I'm calling an audible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick lather of my face here. Keep the whiskers soft while I take a little time. So I mentioned I was using an Israeli Persona in the 6S this whole week basically. And I like the feather better. I always ditch my DE blades after 3 shaves. I just did a quick little 2-passer yesterday, so it was a 4th shave on this. And I thought, well, I can probably push it one more shave. And I'm like, what? Why, right? This stuff is cheap, especially compared to carts, even if I use them in a blade just for 1 shave, whatever. So, the Personas, the box that they come in, on the back, there's nowhere to put the old blade, so we just wrap it back up in the paper. We're gonna fold it in half. That snaps the blade so that nobody's gonna get cut, and we'll throw it in the trash. I just show that because that's something I didn't know until I started owning DEs. Now, the feathers, whoop, luckily that was just the plastic. Oh, last one in there, but I'll show you in the back, there's this little slot where you can put your old blade. So I don't know how much that adds to the cost of their packaging, but it would certainly be nice if everybody did that. You still need somewhere to put your single edge blades and I guess gems and things like that, but that would take care of, I think, a lot of wet shavers blades if we could just get rid of them like that. So there we go. We'll touch up the lather a little bit. We're using, you like this professional label, Mystic Water, is it? Yeah, Mystic Water Leather and Smoke. Again, this is all these soaps I've been using. I don't have. This one I like though. This is a nice leather scent though. I wouldn't mind having this all the time. Yeah, we're going, well, my wife and I and one of the girls are going to a Lebanese restaurant for breakfast. Now, if you don't follow along every video and every journal post I write and stuff, which I highly suggest you do, we have an electrician who comes to Mexico twice a year. Have been to this resort. We talked to him just last week, and he said he'd wish he'd tried the Lebanese restaurant earlier in his stay, and the breakfast was amazing. So our plan was, the first morning we were here, is to all go to a Lebanese restaurant. We looked at the menu, and like I said, the ethnic restaurants here seem like I wouldn't know. They appear to be very authentic. I wouldn't know if they are. But it looked like stuff none of the kids would eat, and even I was kind of like, whatever. But my wife was like, I want to try it. So 2 of the girls are just ordering room service for breakfast, and one said it sounded good. So, and some of the stuff, can't be. I don't like rose water or rose flavored scented any foods. So that's part of it, because you can get like French toast, but it comes with pistachios, which is fine, but then rose syrup. I'm sure you can ask for it without, but a lot of stuff has rose. Anyway, that's what we're doing this morning. Then packing up, then they pick up the luggage and check out, and yada yada. So I'm trying to think about what else I could talk about. This is a good soap. I have no full Mystic Water anything, I don't think. This is pretty, I was gonna say that I hesitate to really analyze any soaps while traveling, because you don't know water quality. It's been fine, the lather's been okay. This doesn't seem to have much residual slickness. but it's okay. But it's hard to know. No, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I'll buy it. I'd buy these at home. I was thinking one thing that has been making me uncertain all this week is tipping. So I have to say, tipping in general drives me nuts. We live in the Bay Area. San Francisco has slowly started switching basically to a service fee and no tipping in some restaurants, especially. It tends to be the nicer ones. I don't know why. And actually, I might be incorrect. I think they actually say it's just included in your price. You know, I think restaurants are hesitant to do that because if everything costs more, it looks more expensive, and you're not thinking, well, I don't have to add a tip at the end, or you know, some people think, well, I want to be able to control how much I give somebody and all that stuff, and it's like, I don't know. That's a whole different discussion that we could sit in the wine room, I guess, for an hour and have about tipping and when you should tip. And you know, I've always, and let me just start out by saying, I don't mind tipping. When we tip pretty well. So none of that can be held against me. But I said, you know, here we tip the person that, you know, say not a high-end restaurant where you're getting exceptional service, all this stuff, but just your standard, like what, TGI Fridays or whatever, where they're just kind of shuttling food back and forth and maybe refill your glass once and stuff. I said, we're tipping this person for their service, where a lot of other professionals that are doing you a service don't get tipped. And there's a whole argument. All right, I'm going down the wrong way. We're going down the wrong road. That's the whole hour-long argument. So let me just say, where I'm getting tripped up is this is an all-exclusive resort, right? On a cruise ship, or the ones we've been on, you don't tip at all anywhere. You can. The exception is when we do room service, we tip the person that brings it. Room service is free on the cruises we've been on. But meals, no tips. Drinks, no tips because it's built in there. Every time you order a drink, there's like 13, 18%, something like that added on. So, I mean, you always can, you know, if you hoping the bartender pays more attention to you and all that stuff, but you're already tipping. But I asked our electrician dude, I'm like, so it's all exclusive, do you tip? And he said, well, I do. And he tips when they like bring drinks to poolside or that kind of stuff. And that's where I'm kind of confused. I've been watching. So we got a whole bunch of ones, and so we'll tip like $1 a drink when they're bringing them to us poolside, that kind of thing. I haven't been tipping at buffets. I kind of have a thing about that. I don't even do that at home. Like, I'm getting my own food. Again, different discussion if you disagree, but it's an all-exclusive. So I've been tipping some at the restaurants because they provide, you know, pretty good service. It's tableside service. Some are better than others. A lot of explanation of the food, or making sure you know about things that you might not have thought would be good that they think you should try, stuff like that. Really doing a good job. So we'll leave some tip, but it's like, but how much? Because it feels like you shouldn't have to tip, and there's no bill to base your tip on. And I guess I'm just saying, there's no answer for it. It kind of, I don't know, say rub me the wrong way or whatever, but I don't want to have to be concerned about that when I'm on vacation. Do I have a point? I guess I don't have a point. I was just saying that as something I've been thinking about, that I would just I would just prefer that they'd say all gratuities included, something like that. So kind of like, don't worry about it. We've got it. We're paying them fair. We got it covered. All this stuff. Anyway, the other weird thing is the faucet here is very, very close to the edge of the sink, or there's some overhang, and it's a very powerful faucet. so water gets everywhere. Got all sorts of cleanup. So anyway, curious what everybody else is doing. I know there's been some camping going on and family gatherings. We've got Major Rich is going on a cruise soon. Looking forward to hearing about that. He's doing East Coast. I know my wife at some point is interested in, oh, I did not miss my There's Lemon, already done, is seeing the foliage on the East Coast. So yeah, well, some year we'll have to figure that out. Do you rent a car and drive around? That might be the way to do the foliage, because then you can pick and choose where you go. Because also, I hear obviously you can't plan. It's not like going to turn this 1 week. So you might need to go to different areas depending on the weather, that kind of stuff. But again, if you follow me at all, you know cruises is my favorite. So if I can somehow finagle another cruise and say it's to go see the fall colors, I'm all for that. You know, just a random shaving thought. I'm also realizing I'm losing track of which companies are in business and out of business. And because Mystic Water, I'm pretty sure they're still in business, but I keep hearing about you guys on the cadre with the depth of shaving bins and stuff, and you know, there's a few of you crazies that will use a soap until it's gone and then buy a couple other ones, but most of us have way more soap than we can possibly justify, and in reality, it could be 6 months, maybe more, before you get around to using a soap again. So you can easily be using, that's an interesting question as to, has anybody gotten rid of soaps just because they're too old, or have you not been in the hobby long enough to get to that point? Because I've gotten some soaps that seem to be getting a little bit too dry, and you could always put some water on those. I think my shaving my strop shop soaps have lost some scent, probably compared to when they're new. I can't compare them. Never used them when they were in business. But I'm just curious, at some point, these things have to be losing scent and all that, right? Anyway, my whole point is that guys can be using soap, still have half a tub left long after the company went out of business, and so you see all these shaves of the day. But my hair looks okay in the mirror, but it's weird in the camera. I don't know I need to get makeup in here. Anyway, the point was that sometimes it's very frustrating too, because I see you guys using these soaps. They look great. They sound like they smell wonderful. I go look them up, and they're out of business. So if you could all please stop that, I appreciate it. Anyway, yep, I'm behind on my journal. Still cruising with the consecutive days of shaving. I did look that up this morning. I think we're at 344 consecutive days of shaving, so almost on a year, as in 365, not a calendar year. And again, I don't know why, it's kind of neat to have a streak. Doesn't mean squat, but can you imagine if I could just keep this going and we're up to 1,000 consecutive days of shaving? I don't know if that's cool, or it's just we did man, just take a day off, relax. Anyway, Friday for most of you guys. Sorry, Gear Noir, you got a day or two to go, I know. Hope you got a good weekend planned. See you back home tomorrow, and see you on the forums.